Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Pickles and
Pasta.
Pasta with Steph and Jay. I'm not going to play both Steph and Jay today, but it came out. I'm sorry. I stepped on your
No, it's good. I think you should just say the whole thing.
line. You just sit there, take a nap. Well,
I'll just smile.
well, that's you are.
Let me know when you want me to speak.
You have a pretty
Not really.
smile. No, I like it.
Not really.
No, I do know I want you to speak, but I like you to smile too. If you could speak and smile at the same time, um,
Hi.
no, that's yeah, no, it's still pretty. It's still pretty. It's still pretty to me. Anyway, yeah, hi. Welcome back. We are here up at episode 24. Pretty
Ooh.
cool. And actually, we've just been talking earlier today, but in general about what different things we can do and what we have in store for you guys. And I may have mentioned this before, but if anybody has any ideas or any suggestions or any thoughts or things that you love or things that you don't love or whatever, please let us know. I promise somebody will read them. I can't guarantee that it'll be me, but somebody
I
will.
love reading things that people send us about our podcast.
I rest my case.
So sweet.
I love the nice comments too, but if somebody sends me like a whole idea of like, well, we think you should do this and this, and you should definitely have clowns. Like, I don't know that I'm going to read that, but somebody will read it. Somebody from the team will definitely read it, and we will respectfully respond to anybody that sends us something. So, but in all fairness, it's when you do something like this, which is quite different than producing a narrative feature film or short film or TV show, whatever. You know what you're going to do and you do it, and then it goes out to the universe. This is like, we can change this at any time. Not that we're going to change the whole thing, but if there's like an idea or there's a subject that you guys think would be cool to hear about, we're certainly open to talking about it. So I just wanted to throw that out there if I haven't done it already. And now that I've done it, I'm going to write it down to remind myself, and I won't do it again for a couple episodes at least. So anyway, new year.
You.
Definitely not. But we talked about this about the change of the year, and I know I kind of went on a rant about why do you have to pick this day and all that sort of stuff. But there's no question. I mean, there is you feel a difference when a new year comes in. I mean, people are there's things change. It's not that people are any better; some are worse. But you can feel something different, which is kind of what I wanted to talk about a little bit today, like how I feel. Just like how it is. Like, I mean, remember, like when we were. It's an interesting thing of how there's this rush, and getting ready for the holidays and all this kind of stuff. And, certainly with you and your family, your mom and everybody else, like it's a lot. Like your mom really, really puts a lot of effort into the holidays, like really, really,
Mm-hmm.
really important to her. Family comes, children or grandchildren, friends, and, all that sort of stuff, and the dinners and all that sort of stuff. It's a big deal for her. And so there's a lot of energy. And then New Year's, there's a lot of energy. And then it's like, it's just like it all just kind of comes. And it was kind of nice. Like, I mean, it was all nice, this year as it is, for, basically every year. And, always a little bit different, but I thought it was really, really nice. And then like before we left and came back, like it was like her chance to kind of maybe relax a little bit. But then the beginning of the year comes, we hit New York and, we're back here and, everybody's like getting back into it. It's always funny. I know for me, it's funny that people take these extended times. It's like, okay, it's enough that you took off basically since Thanksgiving, and then certainly Christmas time and that week in between. I get it. And I get that you don't have to be ready to go January 2nd. Like, okay, always got to be working full time, crazy. But like a lot of people take a good, 3, 4, 5, even more days off. Like even this week, it's definitely not full speed ahead for a lot of people. A lot of people are still away. A lot of people are just not working at full pace. Like it's just, I don't know. I just always find that so interesting.
Well, I mean, everybody's got a different thing they're doing in life and a different situation. I mean, I have friends that are in St. Bart's right now. That would be nice. I have my family messaging me about a 2-week trip they want to take to the Caribbean. And I really have so much work to do that those things are not at all possibilities for me without me sacrificing stress for the other work I need to do.
Yeah, yeah, it is interesting. I mean, yeah, I mean, on the other hand, you know, as creatives, like we kind of don't have a set schedule. You know, like we can kind of do what we want, but I think because we have all these things that we're really passionate about, it's not like we're just going through the motions. Like we have things we're really working on that we really want to get out there, or we really want to do. That you know we're doing not just because we want to do them. We're doing things that we feel will have a benefit, that people will enjoy, people will really benefit from. It's not about making money per se. I mean, of course, it's nice to make money, but it's about you know there's just things we feel will be helpful to people. Your art helps people. You know, it's people get a feeling from it. They get something special. It sits in their home or in their office or you know wherever, and so it's like you're getting it out there for a purpose. And you know certainly the stuff that I do as well. But you know if we do it today or tomorrow, it's really up to us. And so we end up working you know crazy hours and don't take a lot of days off and all that kind of stuff. But we could, whereas these people who have I think people who have more traditional jobs, like they do have those things. They have those deadlines. They have those other things that are, and yet they seem to be the ones who take the time off. It's kind of funny to me that it's like the opposites are doing the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm so into what I do that when I get to a certain place in the process of doing it, then I would love to take a holiday and lay on a beach
Right.
for a week. That would be amazing. But, I have all kinds of new things happening. Like, this is a really pivotal time for me, and I'm very excited about all the things that I have going on. I mean, I have a huge solo show happening in less than a month.
That's
And
super exciting.
this is like, I'm going to be showing like 20 some paintings that have never been seen by a lot of people all together in one large gallery space. So, like, that is one of the most important things on my mind. I'll be carrying these paintings into that gallery, in 3 weeks. So, they're the things that are really driving me. And I'm not jealous. Like, I'm not like I'm seeing my friends, partying it up in St. Bart's, and I'm happy for them. I'm not I'm not like wishing I was there.
Sure.
I'm really into what I'm doing. So it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. So kind of jumping into, you know, the beginning of the year and certainly stuff that comes across in my world and I think it crosses over into your world in many ways, directly and indirectly. You know, to me, this time of year, I mean, it's not me. I just saw another post just before we went on about some other conference. It just seems like it's come, you know, January 2nd or 3rd. It's like conference. You know, Sundance Film Festival. There's other buyers markets. There's one in Europe. There's the award season. There's already started. I think Critics' Choice was like last week or something like that. I kind of lose track of. There's just so many different things. And then there's this award and that gala and this and this pre that, and it's like all over the place. And it's almost like they schedule these things right after everybody's been in this resting place, basically, right for most of December. And I just find it interesting, like that. It's just so packed, boom, 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 like all these things, and every one of them, one is bigger than the other. Like some of the ones, like I'm not a big conference person. I don't really enjoy them very much, and I get the value, I get the networking value of it. I get a lot of sort of get to see things, you know, and you know CES, which is a computer cool tech show, basically. Anybody I know that's been there, they're like they come back exhausted. Like they come back so overwhelmed. They come back with like seeing the coolest things, like flying cars and super cool gadgets and like super cool, like really, you know, business stuff, not business stuff, also like super cool stuff. But they're like, we couldn't even do the entire show. Like it was just literally impossible to do the entire show.
Hmm.
But to me, like there's that part of it, but there is what comes after it, right? So like we're going to hear, you know, you and I are going to hear about a product or about, something at a conference. It could have been there's a creators conference. There's obviously Sundance, and the being there or not being there is one thing, but the aftermath of all the press and everything else that goes on and on and on is going to permeate, and it's going to continue on for a long time. I mean, I know it doesn't really affect you as much, but don't you feel that like that kind of comes into play that people are going to talk about it? You hear that thing that was at Sundance? Oh, did you hear about that new device that people are using to make their content better? Or it's like, I mean, don't you feel that that kind of pops up a little bit, or not so?
Yeah, I mean, you'll see things on social media, and unfortunately or fortunately, and I'm not quite sure anymore. I'm feeling it like it's more unfortunate that I have to be on social media as much as I do. But yeah, I'll see that kind of stuff. That'll be a result of all these conferences and awards things. I mean, to be quite honest, I have a tendency to block that kind of stuff out. I am a solo operator, and I think too much reliance on what other people are doing in different industries sometimes is a little bit, it dulls down my own originality a little bit.
Really, you
And
don't find inspiration from it at all?
maybe a tiny bit.
Okay.
I mean, I do get inspired by the things that I see out in the world, but not necessarily the result of a conference or an awards thing.
Like even the fashion, or even like how any of that sort of stuff, or what people are taught, you don't find that,
I mean, I take it in
right?
because, our brains are like computers. Like the things that I take in are just, they're just like micro subconscious information that I'll see a post, and my brain will take out of that something that I relate to or that I like. And I think having been around for a while, I see that my brain has a very selective way of taking in information that I like without
Yeah.
talking about it, without making a big deal about it,
Right.
and it goes into my brain,
Yeah.
as part of what then I will spit out with my own creative work.
Yeah. I find sometimes in kind of being around you and your process that it almost is, you see things or you hear things that are like so either annoying or silly or overdone that it inspires you in the opposite direction, right? So it's not like it's not
Yeah.
like right, people that we see like, oh, did you see what so and so is wearing? And all of a sudden they're wearing it and they look like an idiot. And you're more the opposite of like, you get that, you're inspired by that, you create something that's like so much better, or something like that. I find it kind of, because it's silly, right? Like some of these people, they
It's
post
so
something and
silly.
it goes crazy. Yeah.
Like, honestly, I'm really waiting for the influencer thing to be dead. I hope that that dies sometime soon. It's so annoying to open, wherever you're
Well, not
getting
we don't
your.
want it to totally. We do have some people that we care about that we want them to find a new
No,
path.
I'm not. I'm speaking about the genre of it
No,
in
I get it.
general,
I get it. I get it.
not personal
No, no, no.
people.
I know that. I know that. I know that. I
You
know.
know,
Talking about the industry. Yeah, that
but
whole idea.
it's there's a lot of silliness
Right.
and a lot of crap, to be quite blunt about it.
Yeah.
And I am such an individualist that I don't need anyone telling me, how to take care of every element of my body and my fashion and everything. Like, I have a mind of my own. I'm an intellectual person, and I can decide how to dress myself without a girl in her 20s telling me how I should dress. So it's just, there's a lot of annoying things so that's kind of why I don't look to that stuff,
Right.
because it's the masses telling you how you should be. And I just don't abide by that.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, don't worry. There's plenty of creator conferences too, and all the different things. Right. I mean, look, there is a lot of talk about that, and it certainly comes up on my side. Not that I'm a creator follower per se. I know people that are obviously, and we work with people in those industries, not necessarily the creators so much per se, but just the model of it, how it works, how brands benefit from it, all that sort of stuff does come up. And I've had friends of mine that have other companies, and they've had people say, well, let's just get an influencer to do it. We don't want to spend money on production. We'll cut the production budget and we'll just get an influencer, and you don't have to spend that much. Just record them properly, and we don't care so much about the other stuff. So it has all these different effects. And I think it comes down to brands are confused, in many ways. They don't really know how to get to their audience anymore, and this has worked for a period of time. I think, influencers, the smart influencers, are looking at where this goes, right? They're looking at, okay, well, I've gotten this far, but I know it's not going to last forever. So I want to learn some sort of skill that I can maximize this and turn this into something. Maybe they want to start their own brand. Maybe they want to become actors or musicians or artists or speakers, or maybe they want to get involved in impact or philanthropy. And how do they use what they've built and an audience that they've built and use that to more than just telling people the same thing over and over again, like this is the latest thing or this is the latest restaurant, because of course that gets at a certain point, of course that gets boring. Like it's not,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how good they are. Of course that gets boring. So yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Well, we'll see. I mean, there's from all the reports and everything I'm seeing, it's not going away anytime soon. But it's hard to imagine that it's just going to be something that goes on and on and on and on and on. I mean, just
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens with it because people get tired of things,
exactly.
Even if I do like a particular person who's sharing information, there does come a point where I'm like,
Okay,
okay,
it's
like
enough. Yeah,
I've gotten bored of it.
yeah.
And I would imagine that some of these people must, like, aren't they getting bored with doing this? And,
They don't
it's,
get bored with a paycheck.
yeah,
I think
that's
I think
true.
that's really what it comes down to. I think, yeah, I mean, we could have a whole episode about that, but there's people. It's because it isn't just them, right? It's people who speak at conferences, or speak at charity events, or they.
That's different.
No, it's
That's
it's really
different.
not. It's no, but I'm saying at a certain point, it's tiring. At a certain point, when you've heard that person or you've seen that person at 15 conferences or at
Oh, well,
30
yeah.
charity galas, it's like, okay, you're not interesting anymore to me now. Like I've heard what you have to
Right.
say. So, and I think that that's to the point that people just get tired. They just get tired of that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Yeah, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. That's for sure. So, well, continuing on from there about something that I've been noticing, and it doesn't really relate so much, a little bit to what we were just talking about. Like, I've been noticing how we've talked about this. Like, we pick up on energy and stuff pretty well. I think. I know people say, "Oh, you're empath." I mean, yeah, I'm an empath and also whatever, but I'm not even talking about that. You have it in your way. I have it in my way. I think creatives have it in a way that's a little bit different than people who are not in the creative day-to-day creative worlds, where you walk into a room or you walk into a situation and you pick up on an energy and you look around the room and nobody is feeling what you're feeling. Like there isn't anybody that's seeing what you're seeing. There's nobody that's noticing the little intricacies. And it's an interesting thing for me because it always makes me think and inspires me to something. It either helps me solve a problem that I haven't been able to solve afterwards, or I come up with an idea on something that I haven't been able to break through on. And I don't know, I just wanted to kind of get your sense a little bit on your experiences of that. Like when you walk into a room, like do you feel that? Like when you walk into a room and like you feel an energy and you look around and you're like, nobody, why am I the only person? Like I'm the only person feeling this and nobody else is feeling something, good or bad.
I don't know. I have a little bit, I'm not quite sure I get exactly where you're going with this, to be honest. Like, I do have that experience, but it's usually not something that I can talk about, because there are lots of times I'm in an environment where I'm picking up on energy that is not my kind of energy.
Mhm.
But it's not something I'm going to go around and broadcast because I'm not trying to
Sure.
create,
Yeah. No,
animosity.
I get that. I
So a
get
lot
that.
of times, if I feel that, I'm not articulating it.
Right.
And
Y-
so I definitely have that experience quite a lot. If I go into, I don't know, I go to a lot of art openings. Sometimes I'm at parties with people I know, and maybe I could sense things there. But I'm so used to being like my own, kind of in my own bubble, and I have like some close friends and associates that I can share that with. But for the most part, the kind of things that I'm feeling when I'm in spaces isn't, I'm not vibing with the whole group. So very, I'm very used to that.
Yeah. No, I get that part. I just know there have been times like we've gone, whether it's to an art show or a movie theater or a restaurant or been on the train, and like there's something that, let's say, you know about something that's happening in the universe or something where you just kind of notice something, and then you can be like, I can't believe nobody's seeing this. Or I can't believe nobody's recognizing this. And I don't know. I find that to be interesting because
I feel like I'm living my life like that right now, but there's nothing I can do about all the things I'm noticing that I can't believe nobody else is noticing. So, you know, it's an uncomfortable place. And right now, for me, living in the world we're living in right now, there's a lot of things that are happening that I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
right.
But nothing I can do about it. So I would be angry all the time if I wanted to stay in that place and talk about this stuff, which I think you hear between you and I more than you probably want to.
I do, but I find that when that happens, a lot of times you get inspired and you crack an egg that you have a breakthrough because of it. Because I just feel that. I feel like something happens and you just kind of somehow, and you have some skill, a lot of skill, but you have some sort of ability to kind of, you picked up on something positive or negative, and then you were able to turn that into something, and then you create something amazing from that. I think you do. I mean,
Well,
as an
that,
observer.
that, that is true because a lot of my paintings are abstract paintings, or they may be partially abstract, but the energy of what I'm feeling, which is this thing that we're talking about, comes through. But it's not something I'm going to articulate and point out to
No, but you
people.
articulate it through your art.
I articulate it through my art. I do not articulate it right now and here and tell everybody all my secrets of all the things I'm thinking that drive me effing nuts.
No,
That's not for now.
that's not where I'm going. I
Okay.
That's not where I'm going with this. So
Okay. Well, that's where my brain goes, and I don't want to go down that road
I
because
don't want you to go down that road
my
either.
paintings are for that.
Right. That's kind of where I was going. Was that you go into a room, you feel something, and you channel it. And I think that
If I were a writer, it would be different.
you'd
But I'm a
write.
painter.
But if you were a writer, you'd write about it.
Yeah,
Right.
or
And if
I
you were
would
a film,
speak the words.
and if you were a film director, you would,
I would make a film about it.
well, not necessarily about it, because if you're purely just the director, but there would be something in your directing, how you guide the camera, how you guide the actors, how you determine your scenery and your lighting. You would, it would manifest into those things. And that's kind of my point, is that as a creative, that happens. That's part of a process that we're kind of not even conscious about. And I find that, and I find it interesting. The things that I'm talking about are similar to that, but I have it with a whole other element with different things that I deal with, you know, politically and various other things that come into my world, that I know people that are very riled up about something, and then I'll walk into a room and I'm thinking, natural reaction is, well, everybody's riled up about this. Then I go someplace, I'm like, there's nobody in this room that's even thinking about what was on my mind 5 minutes ago. Like it's zero. Like it's not affecting their world whatsoever. They don't know. They don't care, and it's just what it is. And it's interesting and it's mind boggling. But that gets me to then go someplace else, right? Because then I'm like, okay, let me reassess what I was feeling 5 minutes ago. How do I do that so that I can do what I'm meant to do? So I just find that's interesting. I think it's as a creative person, I just find this interesting.
I mean, maybe I should be grateful for having all this angst around these feelings. Maybe it's material, but I find it all very frustrating.
Yeah,
And one of the ways I get that out is through making my paintings.
yeah. I mean, look, they say that right about like some of the greatest, musicians of our time, not long before our time, all the way back to Beethoven or whoever, and writers and directors and painters, whatever, that they had this, they didn't have these beautiful, clean, everything perfect life. And they dealt with the universe by bringing that into something and creating something beautiful from a surroundings that was maybe not so beautiful to them. And I think you have a beautiful surrounding, but there's just a lot of things in the universe that I think they affect you more than they affect the average person. And I think part of
Well, I
that,
mean, I have a lot of empathy,
yeah,
and I think I have learned to control it a little bit better. I mean, honestly, one of the things that when I was working with Carolyn, my therapist, I mean, I've never been on medication in terms of like a lot of people take anti-anxiety medicine and all different things, Zoloft and, all these different,
yeah,
these medications. And I would speak to her about it. I'd be like, God, this part of me is kind of like, geez, it would be kind of nice to take the pill and to not feel so annoyed about XYZ happening in the world or this person or whatever. But I've always stopped myself because I was like, I need my emotions to make the art that I make. I need to feel my
right,
feelings. I need to feel the things that are going through my brain as much as it can be really frustrating and hard.
yeah. Yeah, and I think, yeah, I think that's true. And I think, look, there's no question you have been working at this very hard for a long time. You definitely, I mean, certainly you're affected, and certainly like there are days or things that happen through a course of a day where we'll start talking about something and you'll get very worked up because there's something that's just really horrible. There's something
Yeah.
happening in the world that's really horrible, and you'd be inhuman to not be disturbed by it or stressed by it or concerned or have, like you said, empathy for these poor people or that or whatever it is. And I get that. But I also think because you're so in tune with so many things and in tune with your surroundings, it's the little things. But I find this to be, because look, I deal with a lot of creatives on a daily basis. If you go through a course of my regular day or week or month or whatever, I spend a lot of time dealing with creatives, like full on creatives, like musicians, actors, producers, writers, artists, all that sort of stuff. Then I spend time dealing with super intelligent, you know, founders, designers, computer wizards, like just all sorts of stuff that are just geniuses or whatever, scientists and everything, and creating things that are. I mean, you've seen me on calls with some of my friends and some clients in a project we just did. I'm determined to read through all the materials that he has sent us. I've skimmed through them. I'm determined to really lock myself down and read it, knowing full well that I will not understand it. Like I will not understand most of it, but I'm going to keep at it till I do. And I listen to him and I'm like, my God, this guy's unbelievable. Like he's just unbelievable, and how fast his brain works. And then I deal with just business people, like finance people, accountants, lawyers, like that. And I just find that the artistic way of living is just a very, very different way, and how we're all living in this same on this same sphere, but the things that are happening are affecting us just very differently. And I don't know why the idea of like walking into a room was something that popped into my head. Maybe that wasn't the best way to explain this, but
It's okay.
um,
We work through it.
No, I know. Yeah. Maybe that's something that's more. I'm in a minority in that regard, and maybe it's just for you, it's more general, and for me, it's very general, but also very. In,
Well, I'm also so literal, so I couldn't think of an instance
yeah, fair enough.
walking into the room and suddenly being like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah, I don't do what's going on here, but I just walk into rooms and I'm like, okay, I mean, you've heard me
I
say,
mean, there was that one time when we went to that weird
oh,
art
you
opening.
couldn't get out of there fast enough,
That
and we almost and you
that would be a really good example of me like, what the fuck?
and remember you were gonna like we were almost gonna go back to this. I was like, baby, we're not going back to this place. She's like, no, look, no, why? It's fine. It's an art thing. I was like, we're not going there. Don't you remember? And you're like, no. And I had to go through the whole thing with you like 4 times because you were like, you blocked it. You must have totally blocked it. And I was like, we're not going. Don't you remember? Like, no, which one was it? I was like, no, we did this thing.
Yeah,
Like,
but
you know what?
that to me was not an art. That was not an gallery or opening. I don't know what the hell that was.
According to them, it was. According to them, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
interesting.
so that I did have a visceral reaction to that
So, okay,
room we walked into.
fair enough. Fair enough. So, as interesting and all over the place as those first two topics were, I think I did the setup of this was pretty good because our last topic is to focus on the journey, which is in your big painting, which is right over there, which we always love to look at every day, which is an enormous painting, which I think we had in the background once or twice on one of these episodes. But I think with all of that, that's kind of the lesson of it all, right? Is like to focus on the journey because the universe is definitely throwing stuff at you on a daily basis, like for
It's
sure.
insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just saying to you today, I think, like, I wonder what it would be like to do life without all the landmines. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, and not to pat myself on the back, but it is kind of unbelievable what I've managed to navigate in the past 3 years alone. You know,
Yeah.
one rug, one rug. Oh, you're standing on that rug? Well, let me pull it out from underneath you. Oh, another rug? Yeah, come here. I'll rip that right out.
Well, you know that saying of like, if you want to make God laugh, make a plan, and that's not the
Yeah, I
exact quote,
guess.
but that's
I mean, I
basically
am
what
a
it is.
planner, so it's really
Yeah.
not been
So
working
it's an
very
interesting thing,
well.
but yeah, look, I think look, there's no question you're right, and I literally just said this to somebody yesterday, one of the guys we work with, and he's having stuff he's working on. We're trying to look at projects that we're going to work on together in the next few months, and I said to her, I was like, listen, there is literally not a day that I go to bed and I'm like, I got everything done today I wanted to get done today. Not a single day, not one single day that I can remember that I went to bed at the end of the night. And I was like, yep. Not that I could, not that it's a bad day. I'm not saying that. I was like, it was a good day. There's a whole bunch of shit I just did not get to today. I did a lot. I didn't get to it. And on the flip side of that, it's been unfortunately a very long time that I get up and within the first 10 or 15 minutes of being up, I absolutely have to check my phone. Like it's not a disease. It's not like I've got to look at my social media. It's not that. It's that there's too many things going on in the world and there's too many different people that I know in too many different parts of the world that I just have to check to make sure that I don't even get into what is going on in the universe as a whole because I know there's probably something, but I need to be cognizant and be conscious of okay, let me make sure that there's nothing really really bad that somebody that I know or somebody that they know like that I have to really pay attention to like immediately before I'm even fully awake. This has to be addressed right now. And fortunately, it doesn't happen all the time that I have to do that. And then I'm like, okay. And then I put my phone down and I don't look at it again till after I shower and do my prayers and all that kind of stuff. So, but I can't not do that. I'm not in a place, the world is not a place that I could be like, yeah, I don't have to think about that right now. So it's not that I'm so special or important, but I guess because I care about other people that are important to me, I just feel I have to do that. Focusing on the journey, I think is the way to go through it. Because if you don't stay focused on what you're trying to really accomplish, you can lose your marbles.
Oh, definitely. I mean, right now we're going to be looking at art studios here in the city tomorrow, and it's part of my journey. It's part of my journey. I could easily, say no. I'm not going to go down that road, but there's a bigger picture that I just feel I have that I need to see through, and I'm very grateful that I don't know, I have like this base that's like pretty solid inside of myself that I can have a rug pulled out from under me here and there. I can do that, and it happens. But there's some, like, I don't know if it's my dad's energy, if it's just like some innate spirit kind of like saying, no, you have a path, stay
Mm.
on it. And it's like I think about this journey, and it's not easy, and it hasn't been easy, but I think I really have something to say, and so I'm gonna stick to it, and grateful that I'm able to do this at all.
Yeah, I think you're right, and yes, you definitely have come a long way. I mean, some of the conversations we have now on a regular, semi-regular basis. Obviously we have our day to day and stuff and whatever, but then there's when we sit down and we're like, hey, we have topics, we have planning, we have stuff like that. That's separate. We have to kind of do that, and you definitely have taken in a lot of information, and you've had a lot of experiences, and you've worked through that, figuring out, okay, how do I address this thing? Okay, this is a new thing that's come up, but it's kind of similar to this other thing. Okay, I think I know how to handle this. And you're kind of just in general, I mean, you've really, really come a long way. I mean, I don't know if that sounds negative, because I mean that in the really most positive way. It's not like you weren't in a great place before, but I think you've just evolved like multiple layers on top of layers on top of layers, because you've kind of you've looked at it and you've worked on you, and you have focused really on the journey. I think a lot of times it's just natural, we do things and we're just doing this thing, and now you're looking, okay, but I need to think a little bit further than just this thing. Like, yes, I have to do this thing, but I have to think further. And I think it's wonderful. And I think, look, we don't know what the future holds. We really don't know. And like you said, we're looking at these art studios, we're looking at other different options. Like, we don't know. And certain things we got to roll the dice, and with a certain reason, of course. But I think the fact that you focused on something like, I know the future I want to have, and I have to
Hmm.
think about the steps to get there. And some of those things are going to be scary. Some of the things are not going to be so comfortable. That's
Yeah.
okay, because I'm focused on the journey. I'm focused on really, the whole thing, not this one little thing or that one little thing. I'm going to stay in it, go through it, navigate, and move my way forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really helpful having someone like you, for example. I think you coming into the picture has helped me tremendously frame out, the different skills that I have and the skills that I don't have, and how to navigate, where that's important and where we can kind of, work other angles to kind of balance out all the things you need, like
Yeah,
to run
yeah,
businesses. I think we've done really well hiring, freelance people and kind of piecing together all the pieces of a solid business. And it's scary and tricky. And yes, I've bit off way more than I could chew at times. Lucky that different people came into my life to help me along part of the journey here and there. And past 6 years, you've been a tremendous partner for me. But these things are scary. There's money at stake. There's time. There's all kinds of things at stake.
there's
And as much as
relationships,
you
there's
can
everything.
plan,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's people,
you,
you
you
do
can't
things.
plan everything.
Yeah, you do certain things and people don't agree, and then it affects your relationship, or all sorts of things. And then, but even with that, I think what you've been able to do is because you have been able to get to a better place of explaining, and because you understand it better yourself, I think, and you're staying on track. And it may not make sense to everybody every step you take, But it's easier for people to go along that don't get it if they feel that you're doing something that's good for you. If they don't understand the beginning, so they're going to be criticizing, don't do that, what are you doing, blah, 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 negative people. Okay, that's fine. But when they start to see, like, yeah, but look how much happier she is, or look how much healthier she is, or look how many things she's accomplished in this amount of time that I didn't understand even what they were, then it's easier for them to be like, okay, I still don't get it, but I get you, and I get that I've got to support you along this journey differently. And I think that's changed. And you've had that with people. I mean, I'm not going to name names or people, whatever, but there are people in your life that you were like, you can feel the difference than a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand like why I do what I do. Like,
Sure.
I don't have to do any of this. I don't have to. I could I could be on a beach right now if I wanted to, but like I just have things that I just have this voice saying you need to do this.
Yeah,
I don't know why, and I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to follow my path.
that's your gift. I mean, that's part of your gift, right? Like you know you're chosen for that. You know, you're chosen by default now. Welcome to the tribe. But that's what it is. This is your journey. This is what you're supposed to do. So it's not fun when someone you love is kind of having a hard time with certain things. Of course, but it's a beautiful thing to be able to be along the journey and watch it come together when you know it's what it's meant to be. So I think that's part of it, and I think that's cool.
And honestly, at the end of the day, when we get to a certain place in our life, maybe I'm 80, 90 years old if I live that long, thank you very much, but like I do not want to be that person that is sitting someplace someday saying, I wanted to do this. I really should have done it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be that
Yeah, no,
person.
I don't blame you. I feel you. I feel you won't. Don't worry. You won't. You won't. Cool. Anything else you want to add to any of our lovely topics that we had today?
No, I think our questions, our rapid fire is going to be fun.
Or what?
Rapid
Rapid
fire.
fire time, baby. That's what we're talking about. All right. Ready for some good rapid fire today? You like them, huh?
Yeah, I like the questions.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I came up with them last night. Okay. Uh,
I'll ask you.
sure.
Okay. Okay, number one, Jay Schweid. If you could add an extra hour to the day, when would that be?
Yeah, I should have the answer right away, right? Because I did the question. It's a tough one because at night I'm able to get pretty productive. Um,
I feel like your biggest energy is at night.
it is probably, but I get a
And
lot of
mine's opposite.
yeah, but I do get a lot of good energy in the day too. It's weird. Like a part of me was like, oh, if I had it in the middle of the day, that would make everything better. But that just seems so boring. I would say because I am good at night, I would say an hour in the morning
Okay, okay.
because that might help me at the end of the night. I could still be up and be productive at that hour, but I would have gotten more done because I was more productive earlier in the day.
You know what I think would be a better question for you in particular is I think if you could get an extra hour of sleep.
Well, that's we're not doing a top
Totally
we're not doing a topic on my sleep and or lack thereof. That's not going to do that. But thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate the love.
All right. I like this next one. What age would you want to go back to for a day?
5.
And any particular reason why?
I don't know. I can't actually answer
Okay.
that.
All right.
I mean, there's something about 5 for me.
Uh huh.
I can't tell you. I can't. I don't know. But it's been for a long time. Like 5 is like something that as an age.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
If you've
Okay.
heard me ask, you've heard me tell you that like I'm looking for pictures of me when I was 5 and I can't find them because we don't know where that whole thing is. And I'm asking my cousins like if they have any pictures of me when I was specifically 5, and I don't know why, but somehow I don't know. That's the answer.
Okay.
Sticking to it.
Danger aside, what one thing would you want to do?
Well, being that I don't really get scared or nervous that much, really, I don't get nervous. Fly like a fighter plane.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
like
Yeah.
we
All
go
right.
like in and out of mountains, like not to attack people, but like,
Now, we have to assume that we would have the skill necessary to be able to do these
well,
dangerous
it's
things.
very like Matrix, right? Like it's very Matrix. Like, yes, it's but that knowledge is in me now, right? Not just sitting in that plane, but yeah, yeah. Because I thought about like riding a motorcycle, like at 200 miles an hour, and like just whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't ride a race car like a race car race, but I did drive a race car like on a track, and so I would do that like to go super crazy fast like that. But to me, again, like I'm saying, like flying, like where you got to zigzag and go through mountains and like
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah,
like,
that would be a real rush.
yeah. Ready?
Yep.
If you could add an extra hour to the day, when would it be?
It would be the morning.
So you'd go with
And
you're already productive in the morning. You'd add an extra hour to be even more productive.
for me, I love the morning so much, and I feel like an extra hour would make it even
Okay,
more
got it.
luxurious.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. What age would you want to go to, back or forth?
I would love to go back to 9 or 10 because I would want to feel what it felt like to be me then before the world told me who I should be.
Interesting. And that was when you thought that was.
I think that's around that age.
Okay.
I think you're too young at like or earlier than that. You're still too much of a child. Like when you're 9 or 10, you're kind of just out of that and you're just about to like get into puberty and all that. So I think you're at a very pure age in
Okay.
that space.
Yeah. We'll find pictures of me at 5 and you'll get it. Danger aside, what one thing would you do?
Well, it's kind of between two.
I'll take
I've
it.
always thought that those free climbers, those mountain climbers, I don't know. I mean, if that was not dangerous, that would be so freaking cool.
So funny you say that. Somebody I know is going to do Kilimanjaro, right? That's the mountain.
Yeah, but
Someone's doing it right
I'm
now.
talking about free
He's on her way
climbing,
to
not
do it.
like hiking. Like those people that are literally have the crampons and they're like
Okay.
climbing the
No
mountain
rope.
inside.
No rope.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would take a rope. I mean, because that's crazy. But like, if I weren't
Well, we said it's
gonna
danger,
die, I think
danger
that'd be
aside.
so.
All right, so that's one. What's the other one?
The other thing that I think would be so freaking cool is to be like an amazing skier and to be in like Switzerland and going down like the
That
steepest.
would be fun.
Like I think that must be such a freaking rush.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, those are two good ones. Those two good ones. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. You
Good
did
job.
two things that would put you outdoors, and I did something that would put me in the smallest possible compartment on the planet. That's kind of funny. Okay, that's the third one. Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
got him.
Wow, I was so excited about what you were saying. I wanted more.
Ask some
Tell me
more
more.
questions.
Tell me more. One more story. Come on. Okay. Well, that was fun. I'll do better next time. But
It was good.
I hope you enjoyed it, and
I did.
I hope whoever's listening enjoyed it. And well, look, we got the first one of the year out of the way, so
Yeah,
that's.
I can't believe it's only a week into January. It feels like we're already like the end of January for
I
some
feel
weird
like
reason.
Yeah, it's yeah, January goes so slow. It's like the slowest month in so many ways. Like I feel like January is like so much is going on, but you're like, holy shit, it's only the 8th.
Because
Like it should be the 90th already.
we have so much to do this month that it was stressing me out in December. So
That's
here we are.
yeah, I know, but this is something we're working on, babe. We're working on that. You pre-stress. There's no pre-stressing. We gotta
Yeah.
stop. We gotta eliminate the pre-stress.
Maybe
That
a
would be
little
my message
easy
then.
sailing at some point. Easy sailing would be nice.
That is my message to everybody. Do not pre-stress. Do whatever you can to not pre-stress. You're doubling or tripling the stress. Doesn't matter what you have to do. If you have to go have surgery, if you have to go take a test, if you have an interview, do not pre-stress. If you're going to stress when it's happened. Don't pre-stress. Really, if it's it's natural, right, to stress, right? People go to the doctor and their blood pressure goes up. I mean, certain things, it happens. There's no need to do that 3 days before or a week before. Like, it's not, it doesn't make any sense. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's just someone's personality,
it sounds nice, but I get it. Anyway,
or habit.
yeah. All right. Well, on that note, thank you all for tuning in, whether you watch us on YouTube or listen to us on
Yeah,
Spotify
share
or
it with your
Apple.
friends. We
Yeah,
want
share it
to,
with your friends. Share it with your friends.
yeah.
You share it with your friends. If you have 7 friends, share it with all 7. They will thank you tomorrow.
And I just want to thank all my friends who are listening. Thank you so much for listening,
Yes, we appreciate that. Thank you
because
all.
we have some cool friends
We do have
who
some
do
cool
that.
friends all over the
Reached
world.
out, and I just want you to know how much I appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. I will vouch for that. She really does appreciate it. I do too, but she really does. So, all right, kids. Bye. Have a great day. Have a great week. Bye.